Hello one and all, Musto0063 back again to kick off stage 5 of I Want to Kill the Kamilia Part 2. But first, I should probably just address my seemingly annoying kind of, or getting annoyed reaction to the geezer fight at the boss at the end of stage 4. In that it actually only took just over an hour to beat, and yeah, I suppose if you offer me the chance of beating pretty much almost any I want to be boss in an hour, then I'll pretty much bite your hand off on that. But there's just something about the Miku avoidance crap, and particularly when it's the thing that you die on over and over and over again, and it's seemingly random, that just gets my goat. So that's why I was perhaps getting just a tad more frustrated on that than I perhaps really should have been, or maybe as I would do on other bosses. But yeah, Miku avoidance crap is annoying. And yeah, this is stage 5, so we're going to pick up in just a minute. But yeah, I'm expecting there to be some lot more kind of cutting that's going on here, because I'm not uploading hours and hours of perennial failure. But we'll see how this goes. I'm just shy of coming up to just shy of 800 deaths and just over 2 hours 50 to get through 4 stages, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, this is where the game starts to get really quite ridiculous, so we'll just kind of kick off and see how we go. And we get off to an immediate good start. And we kick off with what is one of the most annoying jumps for me in possibly the entire game. I really hate this jump. You almost have to kind of drop down in between these 2 spikes here, and then jump off to the right after that. Otherwise, the one on the right-hand wall, a bit like what I just demonstrated there, will almost certainly get you. It is an absolute pain, and I despise the jump more so than those Christmas tree type jumps. And in all honesty, it's the one in this screen that gives me the most irritants and probably the most trouble, despite the fun that goes on in the rest of it. That was so close and so annoying at the same time. That too. We'll get on to the other... Oh, blimey. We'll get on to the other parts when, obviously, I get there. Oh, come on. The last 3 there all felt really, really tight, really good. Like I just jumped at the best possible time. But no. I'm also not 100% sure, although, I'm not even really convinced you could avoid it. But, you know, hitting your head on the ceiling when trying to make this jump. But if you don't, I almost fail to see how you're going to get far. In fact, that's exactly what you do. You jump a little tiny bit and don't hit your head on the ceiling, and that seems to be the best strategy for doing it. So, yay, that was about 25 deaths. I think it was actually 26 to get past that bit, and wow, that will go down in history, for me at least, as being possibly the best I'll ever do on that section. Although, frankly, now I know now a bit better how to do that jump, I am immensely happy. Not that I intend on doing this a 3rd time or any more, but should I ever want to come back to this game again, I will have a far better time with that jump. I certainly hope, anyway. But yeah, well, I say I hope. I am not anticipating doing this game again. So, this bit, despite the fun it seems I'm having here, I don't generally find all that bad. Obviously, it's a bit of a narrow path. What you want to kind of do, a little bit like I just did there, is small jump in between probably the 2nd and 3rd spikes. Wait till you've kind of dropped down a little bit and then do a big jump over the rest of them. You obviously have to make sure that you drop down sufficiently much that you don't hit your head on the spikes on the ceiling. And then, unfortunately, you have probably what is the 2nd worst jump of this screen. Or maybe not this, I don't know whether it's this one or perhaps the one after it. But you have to do these, pull off those kind of 2 offset kind of jumps in succession. And they can be rather annoying. Although I was fully expecting the bit on the right-hand side of the screen at the bottom to give me the most problems. That wasn't obviously how it's worked out. And as you saw there, I managed to pull off the 1st jump, but not the 2nd. Neither are terribly straightforward, but I kind of generally feel like I've got maybe a better chance with the first one, since I can hopefully kind of position myself on a particular point on the ground, and that should, in theory, enable me to kind of set myself up to make the jump a bit better. But I don't know quite how pixel perfect it is, and it's easier said than done. Please don't mess up. No! Don't make the two awkward jumps and screw up the easy bit. Oh. Let's stop the clock there, shall we? 2:54. If there's no cutting, well, if there is cutting, you'll see how long it takes, but that's irritating. What you don't want to do is make the two awkward jumps in succession and then screw up on the comparatively easy bit. I'm not saying it's dead easy, but yeah. Yes. That's also not something you generally want to do. I'm even more annoyed at that one, despite the fact that I didn't exclaim or scream or yelp or anything. Believe me, I am seething inside at that failed attempt. The game, which I should perhaps at least give a brief mention to. I want to be the colour, which is interesting because certainly this screen, and indeed I believe the rest of the game, well, I suppose it might be titled exactly for that reason, but in a lot of screens, say including this one, there doesn't really seem to be any colour in the game. I'm not quite sure if that is the gimmick, in that all the screens are black and white, but it would possibly seem to be. In case it wasn't obvious, or you hadn't perhaps just noticed, the middle of the screen, obviously, or the way the blocks and the spikes are arranged, the kid's face appears in the middle. So that's a nice little decoration for the screen. And right now, I'm really, really regretting that mess up. I can't get this jump right now at all. Or that one. I was seemingly doing quite well with the first two jumps, but that's all gone to pot now. Grrr. Come on, I don't want to start having to cut on the first screen, really. I'd like to get at least a little bit further through stage 5 before I have to think about doing so. Grrr. I do find this first one actually becomes a bit of a rhythm. If I make it once, I'll kind of tend to do it maybe the next time, etc. But obviously that's not going to work all the time. But I find that when I fail, I then fail quite a bit. It takes me quite a while to get to actually make it next. So there we are. I've messed up there. I suspect I'll do it again, and probably again. Oh no, I made that one. But I'm not having much luck with the, or maybe skill rather than luck, with the first of the kind of offset jumps. The second one, I do find more awkward, just from the point of view that you can't really kind of stand directly under where you want to be. When I actually get back to the first jump, I'll try and explain a bit what I mean. Right here, I can at least kind of stop and position myself where I want to be. But for this one, I've kind of got to jump over to the left, and if I find that I'm not quite in the right position and can't quite set myself in the vertical position that I want to be, then, or sorry, the horizontal position I want to be, not the vertical, then that jump I do find more tricky. So I'm not going to get that right every time. Sometimes I'll position myself just that little bit too close to the wall of spikes. Sometimes I'll position myself too far away and hit my head on the one on the ceiling, but at least I can, try and position myself to give myself, what I think at least is the best possible opportunity. Whereas the other one, you've got to jump to the left, the right. you know, and right and to the right again, all in one motion. You can't really set yourself all that well. I was fully expecting the jump at the very beginning of the stage to be the one, or the thing of this screen. The top bit, by the way, is a little bit annoying if you don't know what to do, and I will talk about that when I get there. But without knowing a certain trick, it's pretty much, as far as I'm aware anyway, is absolutely impossible. This trick will come into play in later stages as well, where it gets even more annoying. Okay. No. And that's yeah, 2 times I made both those jumps, and then to mess up. Well, yeah, twice. On different bits, not all that good. Although I'm hoping now 3rd time will be the charm, because I screwed up on the first of the 2 jumps once I got through the 2 offset jumps, and then the 2nd time I died on the 2nd of the jumps after getting through the 2 offset jumps. So 3rd time I'm hoping that I make it to the save. That's already well over 100 deaths on this screen, and I'm not getting seem to be getting any better at it. In fact, I seem to be getting worse. No. And I'm dying just way too many times on this first jump as well. This took me quite a while on my first go through, I'm not going to lie, but after a while, once I kind of got the hang of this first jump, I would say that I was making it a good proportion of the time. Now, it's not like I'm, you know, dying 200 times in a row on this thing, but I'm dying far, far too often on this first jump for my liking. I was too close to the wall there. I don't think I was there, but I just didn't time my jump very well. The second jump is a pain in the neck. And I can't quite think of a really decent strategy in order to get by it. Good God, right. That was way, way longer than I wanted. Right. Let's progress on, make this jump, fall back, and the spike pattern changes. Now, what you have to do, I'm not even sure if I did that right or not. I'll probably have to take me a few goes to realise whether or not I've done the right thing. But you actually have to, apparently, pixel align the kid in order to make this jump. Because if you just go and try and make the jump, apparently, you will hit, well, 1 or 2 spikes. It's supposedly impossible to make without pixel aligning yourself. So you either have to run up against this wall. I'll try that one. That didn't seem to work. Failing that, what you perhaps have to do is run up against this wall to kind of set yourself. I did it at a silly time then because I need to do it on the second run through. But yeah, you either have to run up against one of those 2 walls. It looks like it was the equivalent of this one on the left-hand side. Apparently, because of the way the pixel hitbox detection thing works, you won't be able to make the jump when the spikes realign themselves like that. But anyway, we're through. Whew, that was about 10 minutes on that screen, more than that. So yeah, that was irritating. So let's get on with this screen, which I actually don't mind quite so much. I'm not saying I'm going to clear it particularly easy, but this is actually, for the most part, fun, or certainly a lot more fun, I find, than the previous screen. So I want to be the scapegoat. I've not played it, but obviously the gimmick, which hopefully you can kind of see a little bit here, is we've got these what do you call them? Travelators? I don't quite know what you would call them. Conveyor belts maybe is a more appropriate word. Travelators is for people who've watched Gladiators. The first one here forces the kid to the right. The second one forces the kid to the left, and you obviously have to be careful to go against the flow of the conveyor belt so that you don't end up just ramming yourself into a spike. So for this first one, you want to hold right when you're stationary. That way you won't actually go anywhere, as I'm doing here. If I don't hold anything, then the conveyor belt will pull me to the left. So that's what we want to do here. For the second one, it's going in the opposite direction, so you want to hold left. And this one that I'm on now is going to the left also, so you want to hold right. So this one, I believe, must be going left. So when you make it through this jump, you want to hold left and kind of position yourself rather nicely through the weaving spike little areas, which is easier said than done. Although it's not too far to get to the next save, to be honest, so this is probably the only real difficult jump left. Thank you for demonstrating it perfectly. Once you kind of get into a rhythm of the flow of this screen, I don't really find it too bad. It's just a case of positioning yourself well on the conveyor belts. It's the spike weaving. Funnily enough, it doesn't seem to be all that intricate, so yeah, not too bad. This bit is, I don't know, maybe the most difficult part of it. I'm not too sure. Mainly because a bit with like how I described the where I kept dying on that cherry in was it I Want to Be the Conscious? I can't remember, but the really colourful cherry and block screen on stage 4. I can't remember what I don't think it was I Want to Be the Conscious. I can't remember what the damn game was called. But this point in particular, again, as with there, I often find that the game just doesn't quite register my jump. So what you have to do is weave down this little shaft. There's a spike at the top on the left-hand side, and then a spike sort of in the middle down the right on the right-hand wall. And double jump and position yourself on the conveyor belt in between the two spikes. But you obviously have to know which way the conveyor belt is going on the bottom so that you don't walk headlong into the spike. It's actually, as far as I'm aware, moving to the right. So when you actually land, which I've not actually managed to do once yet, you want to hold left so you don't go flying headfirst into that spike. Or jump into it when you've actually pulled off the jump. Like that. This one is also going. No, this one is going to the left. So in order to counteract the conveyor belt, you want to hold right, but you also have to obviously worry about this piece of fruit and spikes, of course. Don't forget those. But yeah, the fruit there obviously is something you have to worry about in terms of timing how you make it through that. I'm not saying it's necessarily easy. Well, it obviously would be slightly easier without the fruit there, but. To be honest, the fruit doesn't really. The fruit there doesn't really elevate the difficulty all that much. It's just something to be aware of, more so than anything else. Oh, double jump, please. When you actually make the jump through to, I'm hoping I'll demonstrate here. Let me get a little bit further over to the right. Yep. Now you can obviously have to. Probably let the conveyor belt shift you a bit back further to the left, because obviously I'm kind of just standing in place directly under a spike at the moment. But you obviously don't want to let it take you too far back to the left, so you hit the spike. But you obviously then need to kind of jump back to the left and upwards to the right, and that is easier said than done. And obviously I didn't heed my own advice because I just let the stupid conveyor belt take me directly back into the stationary spike, so I didn't even get a chance to try and pull off the jump. But yeah, overall, this is still. I quite like the gimmick to this screen. The lack of a jump sometimes, particularly on this manoeuvre here, is annoying. But I find a lack of a jump at any point when I really want one to be particularly annoying, but probably more so there. But yeah, the gimmick to this stage isn't one that really irritates me all that much, and yeah, the stage as a whole doesn't irritate me nearly as much as the colour screen that we just cleared. Although I might have to change my mind back to that. I might have to change my mind to the final jump there before we get to the next save as being perhaps the most difficult on the screen. Because it seems to be, not that I'm dying more on. Although I am dying more on this bit, obviously it's at the beginning part of the save, so yeah, I'm obviously dying more on this bit, but Yeah, I think that final jump is probably the most irritating part of this entire screen. Grr. It can be, as I say, I do find this bit very difficult to position yourself so that you can kind of hold left and kind of steady yourself on the conveyor belt, because you have to move right at a fair lick of speed here at this point in time in order to clear the spike, coming from the left on the wall. But obviously, as I just did on that one, you need to hold left again pretty quickly once you've landed, but you obviously have to be careful not to hit left too soon, a bit like I'm doing here, whereby you'll obviously not clear the left-hand spike. And yeah, I say easier said than done. That was atrocious. Come on, this is actually probably one of the nicer, nicer screens of this stage, in all honesty. Damn it, I'm not even getting my jump off there. Something's obviously not quite... Maybe I need to position myself, more on the right of that bit in order to give myself a bit of time to hold left and not hit the spike. So yeah, next time I get there, I might try that. I really do hate dying on that spike once I've landed the jump in. It's particularly irritating. Yeah, I'm going to try that, and I still wasn't quick enough, so yay. Maybe I had my tactic there wrong, I don't know. I don't really know what else to do. I'm sure that's how I did it first time. Might have taken me an absolute eternity, I honestly can't remember, but... It certainly didn't take as long as certain other bits, because I certainly do remember certain screens taking an absolute age. But, and yeah, those ones are pretty ingrained in my memory as really, really pissing me off. I don't remember this one falling under that category at any point. If I could perhaps just have one chance to show off that jump, it would be really nice, because I feel like I'm pretty close here. But every damn time, I cannot seem to get the jump off. Yeah, he's just hitting himself on that spike over and over and over again. And again, I don't know why I cannot get the jump off here. Unless I'm grossly... God damn! Misremembering what you have to do here, I don't think you could possibly pull off the double jump while you're under the spike that's hanging off the right wall. So you've got to not do that. So you've got to jump in a leftward, to the left in order to set yourself for this jump. Oh, thank you. A bit like that, right. Can we get the final bit out of the way reasonably nice and quickly? There. Is it just one? There might only just be one trap in this bit. Damn, it's so close. Obviously here you have to make a sort of a jump between an upward spike and a hanging spike from the ceiling and one from the floor, which is easier said. The fact that this conveyor belt moves to the left is awkward because you need to pull off one of those drop down jumps with that spike hanging from the ceiling. You obviously have to be careful not to jump into the spike, and obviously too low so that you can't then reach the conveyor belt on the other side, which of course, helpfully, is moving rightwards, so that you need to, as soon as you land on it, you pretty much need to catch yourself and turn yourself back to the left. Which, when you're holding right in order to make this awkward jump, and holding right quite heavily in order to try and assure that you kind of make this jump, that's a bit of a pain. But if you can set yourself and not just get hit on that last little spike, which is irritating, but yeah, what happened there was this rightward spike on the block of 4 with the 4 spikes actually goes away, and there becomes a spike that's on the wall instead when you reach a certain point. So don't head for the open gap when you get to that point. Aim for the rightward spike hanging, on the block of 4. But then you also need to move enough to the right to clear the spike that's on the floor. That's about, I don't know, 20-25 minutes with only 2 screens cleared. No cutting yet, thankfully, but yeah, this is taking a while. So yeah, recording has been going on for, I assume, at least 25 minutes, so I will probably cut it there in order just to make sure the recording doesn't screw up.